Hello, Just2Film here. I saw Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which is getting a lot of praise by, it seems like people in the general public and even just film fans. And in my opinion, it was just kind of mid. Now, this is by Daly and Goldstein, the directing duo behind Game Night. And it does have some similar vibes there, which I kind of said that one was mid. But I do think that film is directed much better than this film is. One thing that I don't like visually about this film is the heavy reliance on CGI. People were saying there's some great practicals here, but beyond some interesting costume designs, I didn't really get that feeling. It feels like a lot of the creatures and even the environments are just green screened CGI boring fests. The design of some of the CGI gets creative when they involve magic and stuff like that, but that's a small part of the use of CGI in this movie, in my opinion. The humor of this movie does feel like the humor of a decent Marvel movie, in my opinion. I don't really know the diversion there between this and even like a Thor Love and Thunder's humor. I know, which is weird because that was widely hated and then this one's widely loved. But I think the weakest part for me is the story itself, where the story uses a lot of generic tropes and plays those moments seriously. It's just like, okay, we've seen this in so many films. Why is this character acting this way besides to further the plot? You know, it's like, it doesn't feel like a real, actual human character. It feels like somebody that's straight from a movie that feels uncreative. And if that doesn't bother you, that's totally fair. But for me, it's just kind of lazy writing, in my opinion. However, I do like the characters of this movie. Like, they're written in ways that the actual identities themselves of the ones that they focus on more are interesting. I would say Michelle Rodriguez's character and performance is really bland, but I did like Chris Pine's character and performance. Don't really care about the motivations, though. Like I said, those feel very weak and tropey. And then Justice Smith's character is fun to follow and has a great performance. Sophia Lillis portrays this shapeshifter, which is always interesting to me, and it just kind of comes to the point where it's not a bad performance, but how the character is written into the plot, it's like, okay, why didn't she just shapeshift there? Why didn't she shapeshift there to get out of this situation? Maybe I'm looking too deep into all of this, but yeah, it wasn't visually pleasing to me. It lacked the direction that Game Night had, which was the most interesting part of that film. The performances were pretty decent, but even ones like Hugh Grant and Michelle Rodriguez are just kind of bland, and they do spend a lot of times with them. And yeah, I think the runtime isn't awful for over 2 hours and how it paces the film. But there are just some frustrating points in how the story is portrayed in the first act, especially in how it's resolved in the last act. I did say that some of the side quests kind of were annoying to me, and it's not the fact that they had side quests, because that makes sense in the D&D movie, but it's just what they focused on and then went back to the main story. It's like, okay, maybe you should have just done more of these side quests than the main story. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on it, but I'd give it a 5 out of 10 in my opinion. Not really my cup of tea. Let me know what you think in the comments below of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Subscribe here for more movie reviews, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.